I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if I am found to be lying, I accept prosecution under the full extent of the sports law. This is Sports in Order. I'm the attorney at Sports, and this is my courtroom. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to episode 7 of Sports in Order. Progress is key. Already on episode 7. I always say this every episode. We ain't even made no progress yet. Each episode's getting better, a little marginally better. You know, this episode's better than last episode, but the next episode will be better than this episode. That's my goal. That's the progress that I'm aiming for. We're making great progress so far. But again, you guys haven't seen anything yet. But as usual, if you guys can do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe to the World of Sports Network YouTube channel. You know, you'll get all the notifications every time Sports in Order drops, every time anybody else on the channel drops some content. Got some good people on that channel. You know, we're working hard. Just got to keep working. That's all that matters. But again, go ahead and subscribe to the World of Sports Network YouTube channel. The attorney appreciates it. Today on episode 7 of Sports in Order, I'm going to give you guys my top 10 tight ends in fantasy football. Then I'm going to name the 5 most injury-prone players in fantasy football. Then I bring NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell into the interrogation room, and I grill him on his policy in terms of suspending players and why he suspends players. And pretty much I question him on why he has so much power. And then, as usual, what's the case on the base with my players to add and drop in fantasy baseball. With that being said, you know the drill. We have no time to waste. Let's get right into it. My top 10 tight ends in fantasy football. Number 1, Rob Gronkowski. When healthy, there's no bigger matchup nightmare in the NFL. Faster than all linebackers, stronger than all safeties. It's just he's really too big and too strong to be contained, to be stopped. It's impossible to stop him in the red zone. When Tom Brady and the Patriots are in the red zone, you know he's going to Gronk. And everybody in the world knows the ball's going to Gronk, but you can't do anything about it because Brady will just throw it up and Gronk will box you out, or he'll jump up and get it with his huge hands. There's just no stopping him, man. And that's why I say he's the biggest matchup nightmare in the NFL. Yeah, you got Odell, you got the freak receivers, but it's just nobody's as big. Nobody has the combination of size and speed that Gronk has. The man's 6'8", man. 270, like big, jacked, a meathead. But he's fast. He'll run by you. Then if you can run with him, he's just going to use his big body to stop you. That's why I say he's the number 1 tight end in fantasy, biggest mismatch nightmare in fantasy. And Tom Brady trusts him 100%. It don't matter because a lot of times when you play Gronk, you triple team him. It don't matter because Brady trusts him, and Brady's gonna throw him the ball regardless. That's why I say knock on wood, that Gronk stays healthy, because when healthy, he's a problem, a matchup problem, always a threat for double-digit touchdowns. Gronk is number 1 tight end in fantasy football. Number 2, Travis Kelce. This kid a receiver, a wide receiver, or a tight end? Because he's so athletic, man. You couldn't tell by watching him run. When you watch him play, you would think he's a receiver. He runs all the same routes that wide receivers run. You know, you put him outside. You have him run the curl route, the post, the in, the out. He runs the whole entire wide receiver route tree because Andy Reid knows the type of player he has in Travis Kelce, and he does great at scheming him the ball. When he has the ball in his hands, too, he's like a running back because he's fast and he makes people miss, and he's big. He'll run you over. And Travis Kelce's always getting those extra yards because of his ability with the ball in his hands. I just love this kid, man. And now we're going from Andy Reid. We're going from Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes. Will Travis Kelce still have the same type of success? I think so because, like, again, Andy Reid loves Travis Kelce and loves scheming him the ball. You know, when you have a weapon like that, you got to get him the ball. I don't think the quarterback change is going to do anything about it. I think Travis Kelce will still get his. I think Travis Kelce will still get his receptions, his yardage. I'd like to see the touchdowns go up a little bit, but hey, Travis Kelce, no doubt about it. A top 2 tight end in fantasy football. And again, with Travis Kelce, too, this is another stat. 2 years in a row, 1,000 yards receiving. Not many tight ends get 1,000 yards receiving. Travis Kelce got it in back-to-back years. Again, great player, great tight end. Number 3, Zach Ertz. Carson Wentz loves this guy, man. But not only Carson Wentz, Nick Foles loves this guy as well. Once Carson Wentz went down, you know, Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz kind of had the bromance, you know, for the first 13 weeks. But then Carson Wentz went down. Nick Foles stepped in. Those two didn't miss a beat. He's the go-to option, in Philly. Yeah, you got Alshon Jeffrey, you got a couple of the running backs, but especially in the red zone, quarterbacks in Philly are looking for Ertz. And that tells you everything you need to know about the guy. Usually when a receiver, a tight end, or a running back, they have a connection or a chemistry with that starting quarterback. If that starting quarterback gets hurt or leaves the team, gets traded, that player usually suffers. Not Zach Ertz, man. Zach Ertz was feasting with Carson Wentz. Then he comes in. Then Nick Foles comes in. He feasts with Nick Foles. The kid Zach Ertz, man, he's a stud. He'll do it all. Doesn't matter. Top 3 tight end in fantasy football. Greg Olson, number 4. This guy, man, Mr. Reliable. I don't think I've ever seen Greg Olson drop a pass ever. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this kid drop a pass, man. It's ridiculous. From 2014 to 2016, Greg Olson had 1,000 yards receiving. 3 straight years of 1,000 yards receiving. Now going back to Travis Kelce, saying Travis Kelce had 1,000 yards receiving in back-to-back seasons. Greg Olson did it for 3 straight seasons. Crazy. Plus the receptions are there. He had 84 receptions in 2014, 77 receptions in 2015, and 80 receptions in 2016. And Cam Newton, talk about trusting a player. Cam Newton trusts Greg Olson 1,000%, especially on third downs, especially in the red zone. Just Mr. Reliable, man. He's not super athletic. He's not super flashy. But you know for a fact, no matter what the situation is, Greg Olson is going to get the job done. Number 5, Delanie Walker. Very, 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 very underrated, but very, very, very consistent. Very tough, plays injured, big, but also very athletic. He's kind of similar to Travis Kelce, athletic. But again, when Delanie Walker has the ball in his hands, you know how I said Travis Kelce, when he has the ball in his hands, he's like a running back because he's trying to make you miss. When Delanie Walker has the ball in his hands, he's like a linebacker because he's trying to run you over. He's trying to hit you. Try tackling Delanie Walker with the ball in his hands. It's not going to end well for you. He'll run you over. He'll hit you. You need 4 or 5 guys to bring him down. He's so solid. Delanie Walker's just so solid. He doesn't get that recognition that he deserves. I don't know if it's because he plays in Tennessee. I don't know what it is, but Marcus Mariota loves this guy. The Titans coaching staff loves this guy. Titans fans love this guy. And hey, the fantasy football community loves this guy because the last three years, this guy Delanie Walker has put up great fantasy numbers for his owners. Just doesn't get talked about a lot as a top tight end in fantasy football. I'm here to remind you guys, Delanie Walker is definitely a top 5 tight end in fantasy football. 6, Jimmy Graham. Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Graham in the red zone. Oh, I could see about 14 touchdowns from Jimmy Graham this season, all on the same play. In the red zone, the back shoulder fade. Aaron Rodgers zooms in there. Jimmy Graham bodies the defender, boxes out his defender like the former basketball player that he is, and just goes up and gets the ball. It's the same thing with Gronk, man. When you're that big, no matter, there's nothing you could do. How do you expect a smaller cornerback to match up with Jimmy Graham in the red zone? It's impossible. It's 100%. You know how like in basketball you have high percentage shots, low percentage shots. In the red zone with Jimmy Graham, the back shoulder fade is 100%. It will not be stopped. Now, has Aaron Rodgers ever had a tight end this good? No. So we really don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, Jermichael Finley, had some good fantasy football seasons with Aaron Rodgers. But this guy, Jimmy Graham, is a Pro Bowler, man, an all-pro player. Now Aaron Rodgers is getting him. Look out, man. Look out in the red zone. I'm seeing at least 14 touchdowns this season from Jimmy Graham. 7, Evan Engram, my boy, baby. As a Giants fan, this is my guy. I think this kid is primed for a big second season. Now, last season, yeah, he was the only healthy receiver for Eli. Hence why, he put up some good numbers. But still, what a rookie year for this kid. I mean, he received 108 targets, which is 31 more targets than any rookie tight end since 2006. Eli Manning loved this kid, man. Target after target after target to Evan Engram. He forced 9 missed tackles last year. 3rd among all tight ends. And he averaged 1.46 yards per route. 2nd among all rookie tight ends. Over his 14-year career, Eli Manning has loved his tight ends. From Jeremy Shockey to Kevin Boss to Jake Ballard, Martellus Bennett, Brandon Myers. and now Evan Engram. If you go look at all the stats and the tight end stats with Eli Manning over his 14-year career, every tight end Eli's played with has put up decent numbers. Not great numbers. Some have put up great numbers, but most of them have put up average numbers. Now you get Evan Engram, who's more athletic than any of those Giants tight ends that Eli's ever played with. Yeah, this kid's gonna put up numbers. This kid's gonna feast. Now, all the factors are in play favoring Evan Engram as well. Offensive coordinator for the Giants, Mike Shula. He came over from Carolina, where he was the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, where Greg Olson, the tight end, had 3 straight years of 1,000 yards. Now he gets to coach Evan Engram. Okay, Giants head coach Pat Shurmur, when he was with Minnesota, first as the offensive coordinator, then the tight ends position coach. Kyle Rudolph had his 2 best seasons under Pat Shurmur. Now Pat Shurmur and Mike Shula, 2 guys that have gotten great results out of the tight ends that they've had. Get this kid Evan Engram. I'm telling you, man, sky's the limit for Evan Engram. I mean, you could tell me, Barkley, Odell, Shepard. Yes, I get it, but again, that didn't stop Eli from ever throwing to his tight ends when he had weapons. That didn't stop the coaches, Shula and Shurmur. They had weapons too with their teams. That didn't stop them from targeting their tight ends. When you have a kid like Evan Engram and another mismatch nightmare, you get him the ball. And I think he's going to have a great year getting the ball from Eli Manning. 8th, Jordan Reed. Listen, bro. This kid, Jordan Reed, talent-wise, top 3 tight end in the NFL. Maybe even top 2. But he's also the most injury-prone player in the NFL. One of them, if not one of the top 2 injury-prone players in the NFL. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But this Jordan Reed kid, man, just can't stay healthy, because when he's healthy, when he's on the field, he's a problem, man. Dude, in 2015, the kid had 87 receptions, 952 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns in 2015. That was the last year he was healthy. And in that season, he only played 14 games. Imagine if he would have played 16 games. 2016, only 12 games. Still has 686 yards and 6 touchdowns. It's crazy with this kid, man. In limited time on the field, he still puts up good numbers. And as a fantasy owner, it teases you because, you draft this kid. He's healthy for an extended period of time, put up numbers, and then boom, injured. Season, you lost Jordan Reed for the season after putting up great numbers and maybe even carrying your fantasy football team. I'm just telling you, man. Just imagine this kid with a 16-game season. The sky's the limit for this kid if he could just stay healthy. And again, I'll get to that in a little bit. I'll talk about Jordan Reed's injuries, but they've just been nagging injuries that you can't control, and it's tough. And now you get Alex Smith out there in Washington throwing the ball. You remember, Alex Smith loved his tight end in Kansas City, Travis Kelce. Jordan Reed and Travis Kelce are both very, very similar athletically. So, could Jordan Reed be Alex Smith's new Travis Kelce? Health permitting, he might even be better than Travis Kelce. 9th, Kyle Rudolph. Listen, like I just mentioned, he has 2 best seasons under Pat Shurmur. Now Pat Shurmur's not there anymore. But, Kirk Cousins is there now, and Kirk Cousins, again, going back to just talking about Jordan Reed. Kirk Cousins with Jordan Reed always targeted him. Loved targeting Jordan Reed, especially in the red zone. Now you get Kyle Rudolph as a beast in the red zone, another big body tight end. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see Kyle Rudolph getting 10 touchdowns this year. Last year he had 8. I could definitely see Kyle Rudolph having close to 10 touchdowns this season. But the problem with Kyle Rudolph is that's it. That's all he gives you is touchdowns. The ceiling is not very high with Kyle Rudolph. He's not going to get you 110 receiving yards a game. He's not going to get you, 12 catches a game. He'll get you 4 to 5 catches a game, around 50 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Most games will score a touchdown. So, that's why I have him as the 9th tight end, because he's going to score a lot of touchdowns, but that's it. He doesn't offer you much else besides touchdowns. 10. Here's a sleeper one for you. Here's a sleeper pick for you guys. Trey Burton, Chicago Bears. Now, I'm picking this kid for 2 reasons. He's athletic, and head coach Matt Nagy. Those 2 together, the athleticism and Matt Nagy, should get Trey Burton. That should equal fantasy football success. Remember what Matt Nagy did last year with Travis Kelce in Kansas City? Don't get it twisted either, though. This Burton kid, he's not a slouch. He can play. Last year, as the number 2 tight end might have been number 3 tight end after Ertz and Selleck, Trey Burton scored 5 touchdowns. In limited duty. That's why he got his contract. Now he's the starting tight end in Chicago. Matt Nagy, Mitch Trubisky, they're going to get Trey Burton the ball. They're going to find ways to get him the ball because the kid's athletic. He knows how to get open. Hey, it's the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFC North with the Chicago Bears. Trey Burton, the new Travis Kelce. Let's see what he could do. That being said, let's move on to some injury talk. I got the 5 most injury-prone players in fantasy football. Now, there's a lot of players in fantasy football that are injury-prone, but these are players that you pick pretty high. You pick them pretty high in the draft, hoping and knowing that they're good talents and good players and that they should give you a lot of fantasy points. But every year, there's the potential that these players will let you down and get injured when you can't afford it, when you the least can't afford it, man. You can't afford this player to get injured in week 8 or week 9 when you're making that playoff push, but that's when this player will get injured. Now, I'm not saying these players get injured every single year. I'm just saying they're the highest risk of getting injured based off where you draft them and based off the production you're drafting them for. Number 1, Jordan Reed. Now, Jordan Reed's rookie year, I'll start with the rookie year. Only played 9 games due to concussions. 2014 comes back, week 1, hamstring injury. Injured, misses the next 4 games. Comes back, injures the hamstring again, misses another game. 2015, Jordan Reed stayed healthy for still not even a full season, 14 games, but had a great season. We just mentioned that. 11 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards, great player. 2016, man, the concussions come back. Missed 3 games. Then, against Dallas, separates his shoulder. It's a grade 3 AC joint separation. Misses the next game. Crazy. Then last year, what a mess, man. Only played 6 games last year. Again, a nagging injury, hamstring injury. So Jordan Reed in his career has had the concussions and the hamstring injuries. Things you really can't control. Those are just nagging injuries. That you injure the hamstring and it's going to linger the entire season. You get a concussion, you can miss 8 weeks. You don't know how bad the concussion is or when it's going to go away. So that's why I say with Jordan Reed, man, the talent is there. The kid is just super talented, a mismatch nightmare, very, very athletic, catches everything, runs great routes, but can't be trusted. You cannot trust this kid. You can maybe draft him in the 12th round, 14th round, maybe get a value pick, a bargain pick, but drafting Jordan Reed in the top 3 rounds, that's just, and it's crazy because he's a top 3 talent. He's even a second. I don't know about a first-round talent in fantasy football, but he's a second-round talent, definitely a third-round talent. But you can't draft him that high because of the injury concerns. He'll burn you every year. What a shame, too, because, again, Jordan Reed, very, very talented. Number 2, Rob Gronkowski. It all started in the 2011 postseason with the high ankle sprain. Honestly, that might have been the reason why my Giants beat the Patriots in 2011 because Gronk, the ankle bothered him. He was a non-factor in that Super Bowl in 2011. And I don't care. I'll take the win. Big Blue. He wasn't 100% that entire postseason run. Then 2012 comes. Broken arm. Then he re-injures the broken arm. Missed the entire playoffs. So Gronk is not a factor in the Super Bowl 2011. 2012 misses the entire playoffs for the Patriots. Crazy. Then 2013 season, before the season starts, undergoes back surgery. That must hurt. Then in season, tears his ACL. You guys remember TJ Ward of the Browns when he tackled Gronk at the knees, tore an ACL. So back surgery before the 2013 season, and then in the season, tears his ACL. Out for the season. Okay. Then for a couple years, Gronk, he stays healthy for the most part. A couple injuries here and there, but nothing severe. Then 2016 season, misses the first 2 games with the hamstring injury. Then the next 2 games is limited. A decoy, the Bill Belichick factor. Gronk's active, but he's not playing. Okay, great. I want Gronk. I want to be a fantasy owner of Gronk when things like that are happening. Yeah, okay. Then that same season, remember when Earl Thomas with the Seahawks Patriots, when Earl Thomas cracked Gronk in the chest, and everybody thought Gronk, his lungs were destroyed. They were. It was a lung bruise, caused him to miss the game. Crazy. Then, same season. Now, let me rephrase this for you guys. Let me just start over from 2016. The hamstring injuries limited him. Then Earl Thomas cracks his lungs. And then Gronk needs another back surgery. This is all in 2016. Put on injured reserve. Misses the Patriots Super Bowl versus the Falcons. Oh, man. Talk about a ruined season. Oh, my God. And then last year, missed 1 game with a thigh bruise. And then in the AFC Championship game versus the Jaguars, got concussed, missed the rest of that game with the concussion. So it's just injury after injury with Gronk, man. I mean, 2016 was brutal. Starting with the hamstrings, then Earl Thomas with the lung injury, then the back surgery, missing the entire Super Bowl run. That just kills a team. It kills a fantasy owner. That just kills it, man. It's just too much. And the problem with Gronk is that he's so talented that he's worth, talent-wise, he's worth a first-round pick in fantasy football. But you can't draft, after reading that laundry list of injuries, how can you draft Gronk with a first-round pick? You can't do it. Tough. It's a shame because, again, the kid's super talented. Just, those injuries are starting to pile up. Number 3, Keenan Allen. Kid's a stud, man. But there's a reason that in the 2013 NFL Draft, he fell to the 3rd round. Because in the 2012 season with California, University of California, Keenan Allen sprained his PCL, I believe. Yeah, sprained his PCL, which prevented him from working out at the NFL Combine. Hence, falling to the 3rd round of the draft. 2014 season. Missed the last 2 games of the season. Most of the season was healthy, but fantasy owners, playoff push, wasn't there for you. Missed the last 2 games of the season with a broken collarbone. 2015, midseason, suffers the kidney injury. I had Keenan Allen that season, man. I remember, he's rolling. Keenan Allen will miss the rest of the season with a lacerated kidney. Oh, come on, man. And then 2016, first game of the season, tears his ACL. Now, last year Keenan Allen was healthy and we seen what he could do. Had a great season healthy. But with the history of the knee injuries and the knee concerns, you're just asking for trouble with Keenan Allen. I definitely foresee another torn ACL in Keenan Allen's future. And I don't want to be the one that wasted a 3rd round pick on Keenan Allen and then he tears his ACL. It's tough because, again, the kid's talented, man. But when you tear your ACL once and then you tear your your PCL, you sprain your PCL in college, you have knee injuries, you have knee concerns. It's going to happen again. Sorry, Keenan. Love you, bro, but just can't take that risk. Number 4, Andrew Luck. You just can't count on this guy anymore as a fantasy football contributor. People only want to talk about the shoulder, too, but remember, in 2015, he was another one with the lacerated kidney. What's up with these players and the kidney injuries, man? Andrew Luck, lacerated kidney in 2015. And at the end of that season, actually has a great season. 2015, it was a decent season, actually, but then comes back 2016, has his best season ever in his career. 4,240 yards passing, 31 touchdowns. Just a great fantasy football season, a great season in general. But the end of that 2016 season has the shoulder surgery. Hasn't played since. Fantasy football, man, the fantasy football quarterbacks, usually it's Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Roethlisberger. But Andrew Luck, after that 2016 season, he was ready to make that ascension to the top tier class of fantasy football quarterbacks. Now, he's just an injury-prone quarterback. He's a quarterback that you're not going to draft in fantasy football because, 1, you don't know if he's going to play, and 2, you don't know if he does play, if he's going to be the same Andrew Luck of old. So, there you go. Andrew Luck had all the potential in the world to be a top-tier fantasy football quarterback, but too injury-prone for my liking. I'll pass on Andrew Luck. And then 5, we got a couple players. It's like a tie. It's like 4 players bunched into number 5. Marcus Mariota, Derek Carr. Now, both these players the past 2 seasons have been hindered by injury. Obviously, in 2016, Mariota and Derek Carr, they both broke their leg. In the same year, both broke their leg. I think Mariota was more the ankle, but ankle leg, Carr, broken leg. And then last year, Mariota was bothered by that ankle injury. He was limping around, not 100%. And when you're a mobile quarterback like Marcus Mariota, you can't have a bad ankle. You depend on your mobility. A bad ankle is not going to help you out. And then Derek Carr last year broke his back. Comes back from the broken leg and then breaks his back. He only missed, I think, 2 games, a game or 2. Not many games, but still. Middle of the season, man. That's my quarterback, my fantasy football quarterback. I can't have a broken back. I mean, if you want to take the chance, I mean, they're not. Just the back injury with Derek Carr scares me because the back injuries can linger, man. Look at Gronk. And then with Mariota, the ankle injuries, he's a mobile quarterback. The mobility is always going to be running, always a chance for ankle sprains. That's just me, though. And then 2 more. Danny Woodhead and Tyler Eifert. Danny Woodhead, man, 2014. Played 3 games. 2016 only played 2 games. Last year only played 8 games. Just this kid, man. He's every year with Danny Woodhead. It's like, this kid, Danny Woodhead, in a PPR league, he's going to have a great year. I could see Danny Woodhead having 120 catches in this PPR league. Then he gets injured. torn ACL, broken fibula, hamstring injury last year. Danny Woodhead, if he could stay healthy, he could definitely have 120 receptions in a season. He's that great of a pass catcher running back. But he just, again, can't stay healthy. And then Tyler Eifert. Man, 2015, everyone was like, yo, Tyler Eifert, he's on the way to being the new tight end in fantasy football. He had 13 touchdowns that season in 2015. Last 2 seasons, nowhere to be found in the field. Nowhere to be found. 2016, the elbow injury, dislocation of the elbow. Last year, 2017, the concussion and the back injury. Tyler Eifert, man, he's that big-body tight end in the red zone that you know is a threat for double-digit touchdowns if he could ever stay healthy for a full season like he did in 2015 when he had 13 receiving touchdowns. He just can't stay healthy, though. I don't need players on my team that can't stay healthy. It's that simple. Oh, baby, you know what time it is. Yep, you guessed it. It's time for the Interrogation Room, baby. Oh, we got a special guest today. We have a special guest today. You guys know him. Yup, you guys know who he is. His name's Roger Goodell, Commissioner of the NFL. Roger, step right here. Step right into the Interrogation Room, please. Cup of coffee, some water. You're good? Okay. Roger, Mr. Goodell, what kind of, I don't give a damn. I'm going to call you Roger. I'm going to call you Punk. How about that? Anyway, who do you think you are, bro? Who gives you all this power? I need to know. I want to know. Who gives you all this power? You know everybody hates you, right? Because if you throw your authority around too much, bro. It's too much of a power trip with you. And people hate you because of it. You know that, right? Okay, cool. Why? I just don't understand. The whole, like, the judge, jury, and the executioner set up with you. I don't understand. I don't know where you got that from. Like, why is there no legal process? Why is there, like, no actual court of law? Like, when somebody gets in trouble in your league, why is there, like, not a process that plays out? Why is... I don't get what gives you the authority to be literally the judge, jury, and the executioner. I don't get if somebody's accused of a crime, but not charged with that crime. And you have the power, the complete authoritative power to suspend that player as many games as you want. Not what your guy tells you, your team tells you, or over there tells you, or he tells you. No, it's what you decide and what you want. What you want is the only thing that matters. And that's not right, man, because you're messing with people's livelihoods and their career. That's just nonsense. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, what? Let me move on. Last year with Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Ezekiel Elliott wasn't charged with the crime. He was accused of beating up his girlfriend, hitting his girlfriend multiple times, though. And then the NFL went to a year-long investigation, but there was no evidence. And again, Zeke was not charged with a crime. I repeat, Ezekiel Elliott was not charged with a crime. What does that do? What does that make you do? 6-game suspension for Ezekiel Elliott. What was the reason, Mr. Goodell? He violated the NFL's personal conduct policy. Personal conduct policy? What personal conduct policy? The one that says if you're accused of a crime, you have to be suspended 6 games? Is that the NFL's personal conduct policy? That's what it says. Accused of a crime, 6-game suspension. Never heard of such a thing. Never heard of such a thing in my life. Then Tom Brady with the Deflategate. It was never proven that Tom Brady had anything to do with Deflategate. There was nobody that snitched on him. There was nobody that came to you and said, yo, Tom Brady, he told me to deflate the balls. There was no evidence saying that Tom Brady said deflate the balls. No evidence at all to convict Tom Brady of a crime. But then you want to throw your power around and suspend Tom Brady for 4 games because you said he destroyed his cell phone, which proved to me that he's guilty. What? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Tom Brady destroyed his cell phone, so that gives you the reason and the right to say, you know what? He destroyed his cell phone. He's guilty, even though he wasn't charged with the crime and it wasn't proven that he did it. He destroyed the evidence. 4-game suspension. Yo, Roger. If somebody shoots somebody and the only evidence is the gun, and that person throws the gun into the river, that gun is never to be found. There's no evidence linking that person with the crime. The man got shot, the guy got shot, but the gun that shot the guy is gone, long gone. Nobody's found it. There's the evidence, bro. That's the only evidence that can convict that person of shooting that other person. There's no crime. The man's a free man. There's no evidence. So you can't sit here and say, Tom Brady destroyed the evidence. He's guilty regardless. 4-game suspension. You need evidence to convict. Without any evidence, there's no conviction. You can't just convict somebody because the evidence is gone. If the evidence is not in front of me, if I'm not reading the evidence, there's no crime. I just don't understand how you could just... Again, it comes back to being judge, jury, executioner. You decide how many games you want to suspend somebody. And this is why we need a legal process to play out. We need a legal team to decide the suspensions and the punishments that for these players. First of all, if there's no crime, if the player's not charged with a crime, no punishment. No, that's it. An accusation doesn't result in a suspension. That just doesn't make any sense. The person gets accused, that person goes to court, the court says not guilty, players, a free man, can play a full 16-game season. Now, I can understand if you want to maybe suspend the person a game, an accusation, a game. That's okay, just for, causing the league trouble, I guess, and being involved in nonsense off the field. Okay, a 1-game suspension is cool, but Ezekiel Elliott, suspending him 6 games for an accusation, ridiculous, nonsense, blasphemous. Suspending Tom Brady 4 games for an accusation, blasphemous. And now, Reuben Foster, the stud middle linebacker for the 49ers. He's been cleared of all charges. He was accused of beating up his girlfriend. His girlfriend came out in the middle of the court and said, I lied. I flat out lied. Reuben Foster, cleared of that charge. And then, just the other day, Reuben Foster pleaded no contest to a weapons charge. He has to serve, I believe, 230 hours of probation and community service. Big deal. Not charged with a crime in either case. What does Roger Goodell want to do? What does Mr. Goodell? What do you want to do? Yeah, you want to suspend Reuben Foster multiple games. For what? I'm confused. Is Reuben Foster charged? Is he a felon? Is he going to prison? Does he have a record now? No! The man escaped scot-free. The courts decided. Reuben Foster? He's not a criminal. We're not going to charge him with a crime. He's free to go. Now he goes to Roger Goodell's courtroom. You accused of a crime. You are accused of a crime. 4-game suspension. Come on, bro. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And that's why I'm trying to ask you, Roger Goodell. Why do you do this? Why? To prove a point? What point are you proving? You're just making people hate you more and more. That title, judge, jury, and executioner, is not a good title to have, bro. They're not saying it in a positive way. They're saying it because you're a bully, and they don't want you as the commissioner of their league anymore. The fans, the players, the coaches, they're not a fan of you, bro. And you know how Reuben Foster and Zeke and Tom Brady, they went to court, and the court decided that they weren't guilty? Why do they come back to your courtroom and you decide that they are guilty? Makes no sense to me. They go to an actual court because your court's not an actual court, bro. Your court's it's a joke. They go to an actual court, and the court determines that these players are not guilty. But they come back to Roger Goodell's courtroom, and he says, the real court said you're not guilty, but the Roger Goodell court, we decide that you're guilty. Suspension. Get real. You're a clown, Goodell. Get out of my interrogation room. Yeah, guys, it's simple with Goodell, man. He's just too much power. It's just too much power. It's just Roger Goodell, man. I feel like he thinks if a player's accused, I feel like Roger Goodell never gives the player the benefit of the doubt. I feel like it's always Roger Goodell. If a player gets accused, Roger Goodell automatically thinks that player is guilty, and even once that player is determined to not be guilty, Roger Goodell in his mind still can't get it out of his head that player is guilty, and he takes it out on that player by suspending him. It was ridiculous last year. And I'm a Giants fan, man. I hate the Cowboys. But it was ridiculous that Roger Goodell suspended Zeke 6 games. That's crazy. You can't suspend a player because you're being investigated for a crime. You have to let the legal process play out. That's everybody knows that. Innocent until proven guilty. it doesn't make any sense, man. I just don't understand how you could punish somebody for not committing a crime. Like, how can you, like, that's like me, like, growing up, like, me, my mom punches me for something I didn't do. I'm gonna be upset, but there's nothing I can do because my mom punished me, and I'm the child. She's the mother. I'm punished. I'm grounded. Same thing with Goodell and the players. Goodell punches the players. There's nothing they could do because, again, he's judge, jury, executioner. That's got to change, man. We got to do something about it. We got to figure out a way to get it to a point where, like, if a player's accused of a crime, nothing happens. No suspensions are handed down. Nothing. No. You can't do anything with that player until he's either proven guilty or charges dismissed. That's when you determine what to do with a player. Charges dismissed, no suspension. Proven guilty, then you suspend him as many games as he needs to be suspended. Maybe even cut him, maybe even ban him for life, depending on the nature of the crime, the severity of the crime. But facts are the facts. It's as simple as that. Can't suspend a player if he's not charged with a crime. It's that simple. Case closed. Yes, sir. You know what time it is now. So what's the case on the base with the attorney's players to drop or add and drop in fantasy baseball? Let's talk about the players to add first. Number 1, Ryan Zimmerman. Coming back to a potent lineup. And last year he hit 303 with 36 home runs. Now, does he have one more run in him? I'm hoping so. Because Ryan Zimmerman, he's getting up there in age. He's no spring chicken anymore. He's an older cat. But remember, this kid, he's a career 280 hit. I say kid, this guy, he's a career 280 hitter. He can hit. Ryan Zimmerman can hit. I think if he comes back, right now he's coming back probably the next week or two. I think the rest of the season he could probably hit 300 with maybe 12 to 15 home runs. For a late season run, a playoff push, that's pretty good to have on your team. Yeah. I like me some Ryan Zimmerman. If he's on your waiver wire, give him a shot. Number 2, Ben Zobrist. He's been locked in at the plate, man. Hitting 304, only 4 home runs, but still the average is up there, stealing some bases for you. He's just doing it all. And he plays multiple positions as well. He can play outfield, second base, third base. So if you're in a pinch, you need a third baseman or a left fielder or a right fielder, Ben Zobrist, he'll play that spot for you. Especially in fantasy baseball, which we're talking about. A player that can play multiple positions, that can help you out a lot. No doubt about it. I believe, though, Ben Zobrist is hitting 304 now. I believe that average will come down to around maybe 280. He'll probably finish around 280 with 15 home runs. But he's consistent. And he can play multiple positions, like I said. So you'll take the consistency with Ben Zobrist. 3, Nathan Ivaldi. Man, as a Yankees fan, man, shout out the Bronx Bombers. As a Yankees fan, I always remember watching this kid, man. So inconsistent, but so intriguing because of his velocity, man. This kid, Ivaldi, cheddar, man. Straight heat, straight gas. 102 miles per hour consistently. But he's always, again, been inconsistent. He came back from Tommy John surgery. He's pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays now. He came back from Tommy John surgery. He's had 2 starts so far. First start, he went 6 hitless innings. He pitched 6 innings of hitless ball, not allowing a hit. That's pretty good in your first start back from Tommy John surgery. And then last start, 4 runs in 5 innings. So it was a mixed bag between his first 2 starts. But he's healthy, and he still throws heat. Still brings the fastball up there at 100 miles per hour. So the strikeouts are going to rack up. If you can live with the inconsistency, I say go take a look at Nathan Ivaldi. 4, Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez has allowed 3 runs or fewer in his last 6 starts. Now, he kind of gets overshadowed in that Red Sox rotation with Chris Sale, David Price, Rick Porcello. But Eduardo Rodriguez from the left side, he brings it, man. He brings the heat. He gets a lot of strikeouts. He's got a tough delivery to get a read on from a hitter's perspective because he's throwing heat from the left side. I like me Eduardo Rodriguez. Again, over his first 3 or 4 seasons in the major leagues, been kind of inconsistent, but not bad. He's had ERAs in the high 3s, low 4s. Just hasn't put it all together. But now, again, like I said, last 6 starts has allowed 3 runs or fewer. We might see Eduardo Rodriguez finally taking that leap to consistency and being a top-tier pitcher in the major leagues. And 5th, Matt Olson. Last year, Matt Olson broke out with 260 and 24 home runs. This year, he already has 12 home runs, and he's hitting 256. So the average is just in line with his average last year. Home runs, 12. He's probably on pace to break last year's record. Last year, again, like I said, he had 24 home runs. This year, we could probably see him maybe finishing the season hitting 270 with 30 home runs. And the power of Matt Olson comes in bunches, man. Like I'm telling you, when this kid starts to heat up, he's going to heat up. Last year, in the final 38 games of the season, Matt Olson hit 20 home runs. So in 38 games, last 38 games of the season, Matt Olson hit 20 home runs. Talk about heating up, man. I'm telling you, this kid Matt Olson is going to start heating up, and those home runs are going to come in bunches. Now let's talk about some players to drop. Number 1, Michael Fulmer. Until this kid gets traded to the Yankees, I don't want him on my team, man. Now, since his rookie year in 2016, when he went 11-7 with a 3.06 ERA, he's had 10-12 season with an ERA of 3.83, not great. And now this year, 2-5 with a 4.73 ERA. Now, the great velocity is still there with Michael Fulmer. He's still bringing the heat, still in the 97 mile per hour to 99 mile per hour range consistently with the fastball. But he might just be not motivated anymore with the Tigers because they're not winning and they're not going anywhere. He might just need a change of scenery. I can think of another Tigers pitcher that benefited from a change of scenery. Remember Justin Verlander last year when he went to Houston, won a World Series? Now he's the best pitcher in baseball. We could definitely see that happening with Michael Fulmer because the talent's there. Michael Fulmer, if he gets traded to a contender like my Yanks, we could definitely see Michael Fulmer getting back to that Rookie of the Year Michael Fulmer. Yeah, and I mean a Rookie of the Year who's in his 4th year with the veteran experience. Yeah, Michael Fulmer, I'd love to see you in the Bronx, baby. But until then, see you on the waiver wire. 2, Trey Mancini. Last year, man, Trey Mancini had a nice breakout year. Hit 293, 24 home runs. This year, only hitting 234. Home runs, still has 7 home runs, a little bit of pop, but right now he's in the midst of a terrible slump. Just not getting on base, not getting hit, striking out. Buck Showalter's been benching him recently, and this team's going nowhere. The Baltimore Orioles are going nowhere. So Trey Mancini's in a terrible slump on a terrible team. Ugh. That just makes a player probably just not want to play anymore. Again, lack of motivation with Trey Mancini. So until I see him start to heat up consistently, no room for him on my team. Hey, Trey, see you on the waiver wire. 3, Kevin Gausman, pitcher for the Orioles. This guy's weird, man. I'm telling you, something's wrong with this guy, man. Last start against the Yankees, he gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings. But he struck out 9 people and didn't allow a walk. 6 runs in 5 innings, but 9 strikeouts and no walks. How do you strike out 9 people but give up 6 earned runs? I don't know. Last 2 outings between the Rays and the Yankees, Kevin Gausman has allowed 12 earned runs between those 2 starts. So, yeah, the strikeouts are cool with Kevin Gausman, but I can't be having my pitcher allow 6 earned runs per start. I don't care how he strikes out 20 guys. 6 earned runs, man, it's going to kill my ERA. And most of the time you give up 6 earned runs, you're not going to get a win. So you're killing my ERA. You're probably going to get me a loss. Strikeouts are cool, but nah. I can get a pitcher that allowed 2 earned runs and strikes out 10 guys. Get the earned run average down, Kevin Gausman. Then maybe we can talk. But until then, see you on the waiver wire. 4, Delino DeShields from the Texas Rangers. Now, right now he's hitting 205. Brutal. Only 2 homers. And this kid returned too early from a broken hand, and the results haven't been pretty. Last year he hit 270. So maybe the average will start to creep up once the injury is fully recovered and fully healed. But he's no power. This kid, Delino DeShields, offers no power. He's not stealing bases right now, so he's useless, honestly. And again, another team, the Rangers, they're going nowhere. So maybe they'll just shut down DeShields because he's a bright part of their future. Right now, he's hitting 205. Can't have that on my team. Injured or not injured, 205 is brutal. DeShields, see you on the waiver wire. And number 5, Jay Bruce with the Mets. Now, with the Mets, Jay Bruce is about to lose his spot, honestly, because Cespedes is coming back. Brandon Nemo's been hot, and Michael Conforto's been better than Jay Bruce. So he's going to lose his spot. There's no room for him. Listen to this number. It's crazy. Since May 7th, Jay Bruce has 1 RBI. What are we in June? June 8th right now. So in the last month, Jay Bruce has 1 RBI. Oh, man. Only hitting .239 with 3 homers. Just get him out of here. The Mets are going nowhere. Jay Bruce is going nowhere. 1 RBI in the last month. And Jay Bruce is supposed to be a middle-of-the-order hitter and a run producer for the Mets. He ain't no run producer for my fantasy baseball team. I'll tell you that much. You know why? Because his ass is on the waiver wire. Well, that's it for episode 7 of Sports in Order. Let me check to see if the jury has decided on their verdict. Let me check 1 second. Oh, matter of fact, they have. Sentencing time, baby. Sentencing time. Sentencing time. I love the sentencing time. I love it. I love sentencing you guys to long, long years away and long years in prison. So does the jury. They love it. All right, here we go. The verdict is in. Okay. The jury has sentenced all of you guys to 25 years to life of eating buffalo wings, drinking ice-cold beer, and enjoying sports. This is Sports in Order. I'm the attorney at sports, and this is my courtroom. Case closed. The jury's out. Until next time.